Now I've got a backstory here that I'm going to share with you in a little bit, but even without it, this is the trip of a lifetime. It has it all. Stunning scenery, abundant wildlife, adventure, thrills, peace and quiet, and even some hard work. Hard work's good for you, right? Okay, what am I talking about? Well, the Deschutes River, as I have mentioned before, maybe in other videos, is the absolute lifeblood of Central Oregon. And at 252 miles long, it collects a lot of water. Now, north of Madras in the tiny town of Warm Springs begins what is called the Lower Deschutes. This is the big river. No, the big river. Yeah, that's the one. And this river runs north where it dumps into the Columbia River, and on its way has carved an incredible, spectacular canyon. Now, one of the things that Shannon and I love to do is take float trips down the Deschutes in our drift boat. I mean, she's my baby. Yes, Shannon too, but I'm talking about my beautiful handmade wooden drift boat. Okay, so Shannon and I are both big into fly fishing, and the Deschutes River happens to be a world famous blue ribbon fly fishing river, full of legendary rainbow trout known as red sides. And at the right time of year, steelhead and salmon actually return up the river to their migratory spawning grounds. Ugh, it's just awesome. Fall on the Deschutes is my favorite time of year. So anyway, there are lots of stretches of river that you can shoot. Get it? Deschutes. And I'm proficient at taking my drift boat down most of these runs. Anyway, so a good friend of ours recently invited us over to, like a friend's barbecue. And we found ourselves talking about how much we both loved, doing float trips down the river. Honestly, it was like talking to a clone of myself. Now, he's got a raft, guiding experience down this particular stretch, and happened to have a break in his schedule coming up. Now, secretly, I needed this trip because it was down one of these stretches of the river that I've never done before. And there's one particular rapid that sinks boats often. And as I already mentioned, I don't really want to risk my baby going down that without having at least seen it yet. This is a wooden drift boat. It would explode on contact. So Friday was the barbecue, and Monday we shoved off for a 3-day, 2-night adventure down the rugged and mighty Deschutes River. No cell service, no road access, basically completely off-grid. Not basically, completely off-grid. We slept in tents, actually just cots out underneath the open stars. It was pretty spectacular. Made great food over the camp stove and enjoyed 30 miles of river virtually untouched by civilization. Although the raccoons are pretty civilized, they can get into the craziest stuff. Anyway, he promised to teach me how to run the rapids, and I promised to teach him how to fly fish. Now, this isn't really like any other river adventure. Things you need to know. On this river, you can't fish from the boat. So you have to kind of pull off on the bank, get out, and then fish the river. Which is all I've ever known, so it's no big deal for me. Another interesting thing is that motorboats aren't allowed on this particular stretch of river. Most adventurers either use a raft or a drift boat. And the Warm Springs Indian Reservation is on the west bank of the river, so unless you have a special permit, you're also not allowed to go on that side of the river. So yes, it has some really interesting rules regarding navigating this particular stretch of river, and it might seem a little over the top to some people, but it's all in good order because this river is in absolute pristine condition. There's wildlife everywhere you turn, including ospreys and blue heron and bald eagles, river otters, beavers, snakes. Yes, we saw a few of those. Thankfully not rattlers this time. Obviously lots of fish, there are abundant deer, even wild horses over on the reservation side. At least I think they're wild. Even bighorn sheep can be spotted on the upper canyon walls from time to time. There's probably even more animals than that, but that's what you'll see most of the time. Now I have another secret that I might as well tell you. When I was a kid, I spent every summer at the cabin. Now the cabin was on the Deschutes and a part of a very exclusive property owners club. Now my great-grandpa, who helped raise me and means the world to me, passed when I was 12, and with it, my access to this cabin. I haven't been back to that cabin in over 30 years. The cabin is a piece of my soul. It holds my most cherished and fondest childhood memories. And this cabin also happens to be down this stretch. I've been trying to get down this stretch of river for almost 10 years, specifically to get to this cabin. So what happened? I bawled like a baby. And this red cabin is the cabin. If you ever have an opportunity to take a trip like this, it's 100% worth it. Oftentimes we, and I don't just mean Shannon and I mean everyone, right, get too caught up in our busy lives with our phones and everything that's going on in our life. And sometimes it's really important to just stop and cherish the moment and smell the roses. A trip like this will reset you and re-ground you and let everything else just kind of fade away. It's so quiet and so peaceful, you almost can't help but forget about your troubles. Okay, soft moment over. I'm big about emotions. So, did I handle the rapids? Did my friend learn how to fly fish? It was a fantastic trip. The rapids, the fishing, the camping, the sights, the friendship. You've never seen anything like this before, I guarantee it. Unless, of course, you happen to work for a local outfitter here. Then you're probably laughing at this video because you've done this trip 100 times. But hey, for most of you out there, you've never seen anything like this before. Hey, thanks for staying with me on this personal adventure. I'm not really sure why I shared some of this. I know it's not a normal video for the channel, but I just think it's important to know how spectacular this place is. As always, if Central Oregon is calling you here, my team and I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. Thanks for joining us on this adventure and, do the whole thing. Be sure to like and subscribe. Tight lines. You got a fish on, your line's tight to the fish. It's like saying cheers or bye, it's tight lines.